Access granted.
Charlie, Hotel, Alpha, Oscar, Sierra.
What's up, my friends? As I hit the microphone, how's it going? Welcome to Chaos Live, my fun little live stream where I get to hang out with you guys. Enjoy your company. If you want to join mine, you can join mine. Ask questions in the chat and I will answer them the best that I can. Whatever questions you got about the Army. I don't really do politics, so let's try to refrain from the politics, but I'm sure there'll probably still be somebody that wasn't here at the very beginning that didn't catch that. But you know what? We'll try to accommodate the best we can with things we can do. All right, so if you have questions about the United States Army, just drop those in the chat. If I miss your questions, because I do jump around a lot, hit me up on Instagram. I got links down in the description box down below for Instagram, the Discord channel with some great, awesome community members inside there, and you can hit up some of them veterans. They even have a little veteran verification on the server, so you can check that out, all that fun stuff. We have a like goal, 150. I think, did we make it last time, or was it the time before that we made it? I think we barely made it that last one. So let's see if we can't do a little bit better this time. Crush that like goal. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and all that kind of fun stuff. So we have Notification Platoon, all you awesome individuals that were first to show up here. We got X Tiger, Santos, we got Edward, we got T-Dog, we got Michael, VGMR, one of our Chaos Army commanders. Edward, I already said Edward, you got two shout outs, I guess. We got Al. We got Jim, got David Bell, Evie. I know I saw Evie said that she's struggling, just gonna fall asleep. That's fine. I understand. Gotta live way over on the East Coast where they have crazy time, way ahead of all the rest of us. Norris Cooper, JC, Josh, Blazing Red, Jay the Vorn, Jonathan, Amanda, Jim, I might have already said Jim, but it's okay. Mahad, I don't know how to pronounce that. Marcus, Bryant, Finn, Western Oklahoma Weather, what's up, man? Tiffany, it was Easy, I don't know the whole thing, how to be said, we'll just call you Easy. 375th, Carlos, Isia, I don't know how to pronounce that either. I'm horrible names. If you guys didn't ever notice that, horrible names. And Ryan Bond, and then probably just a few others, but we'll kind of cut with that. So let's get into your guys' questions. If you guys have questions, just drop them into the chat, and I'll do my best to answer the best that I possibly can, and hopefully satisfy your curiosity. If not, like I said, hit me up on Instagram, though. We'll make things work, okay? Let's see. We'll start off with Jay the Vorn. Why not? So they're making all incoming troops take the COVID vaccine. I don't know if they're doing that yet. Probably not just yet. I could see it probably once they do implement the mandatory thing is actually in place. Then they might make them do it like during reception. But I don't think they're doing it yet. I don't know. I don't know the full story on that. But I would see them probably. I don't know. Maybe recruiters are telling them that, hey, it's going to become mandatory, so maybe they're making them do it before they go. I don't know. I don't know how they're kind of handling that just yet. JC's leaving for basic in the morning. Well, good luck to you. Hopefully all goes well. It's going to suck real bad. It always does. But hopefully get it done and over with. Get onto the actual Army lifestyle. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it's awesome. It really varies. Good luck to you. We won't get into the Afghanistan stuff. I don't feel like. I mean, we probably will end up well, but we'll avoid it for now. Got Ryan heading off to MEPS tomorrow. Got Carlos as a mechanized combat veteran from Iraq in 2005, 2006. I was in Iraq at the same time then. I was in Iraq 2005, 2006 in Talafar with a 30 ACR. So I'm 16, haven't been moving or exercising for about 3 months. My knees feel like they need workout. My stamina is low. I'm planning on joining the Army. Any tips on what to do to help prepare? It cuts off. And was there something else? And also I have trouble focusing because I have been watching YouTube vids and releasing my energy while being in the house for months. You got to find your own workout. I mean, I always say, like, you know, you need workout and stamina is low. I mean, you just got to running, probably cardio. I would say cardio. I mean, everybody's different, right? That's always my recommendation. I mean, you got to try some things out. Try out cardio for a while. See how that kind of helps things, and see if that helps at all. It's kind of just a thing. You got to kind of try it out. If not, then try other things, right? Try other recommendations from other people. Maybe talk to, like, a you know, an individual like that works at a gym, you know, that's actually like a personal trainer kind of a thing. But cardio usually is pretty helpful. What's up, Tiffany? How's it going? I see you're saying hi to everybody, but we'd highlight it real quick. Doug the Eliminator, one of our also Chaos Army commanders. Doug's got, do Special Forces cooks go through 69th Spoon Battalion? Probably is. For those of you that really want to know about, you know, cooks and Special Forces, they do have cooks and Special Forces Battalion. They're not going to be actually Special Forces because that's a 18 series MOS, so they don't become like a 18 Golf, or I don't know if that's an actual 18 series one, but they don't become like a cook Special Forces. They just stay a cook, but they're support. They don't have to go through selection. They don't go through Q course. They have like selection. They have not selection. They have support individuals in Special Forces groups that support the Special Forces. Is it hard being 11 Bravo when not deployed? If so, why? I mean, first-hand experience, I couldn't tell you because I wasn't 11 Bravo, obviously, but I had a lot of friends that were. The ones that I am close to, that I'm good friends with, probably, in some cases, because some of them get pretty discouraged because you're not really doing your job. So some of them are like, man, I don't even get to do my job. I joined the Army to do this. And all I do is a crap ton of the field, a crap ton of training, details a lot, mowing lawns or whatever, you know, details they put you on. So sometimes that's pretty, you know, frustrating. But yeah, I mean, some people liked it because they had a lot of free time for the gym, you know, especially if they're, you know, those kind of gym rat kind of guys, right? They love going to the gym, so it was pretty awesome for them. But I've heard some kind of things, you know, MOSs or 11 Bravos don't deploy, then it, you know, when they're in that situation, then it kind of sucks. Lost 40 pounds this summer to join, finally going to MEPS tomorrow. Well, good luck to you, Ryan Bond. Hopefully it goes well. Can you have a dog in the barracks? You cannot. No pets in the barracks. I mean, you might be able to get away with a fish, maybe, but you go to the field and you don't really have a way to take care of it. But for the most part, no. The barracks policies at almost all locations, if not every single location, which is most likely, usually has a no pet policy. So you can have any type of pets. Maybe the only kind of pet you might be able to go with, maybe an ant farm. They might not give a crap about an ant farm. But no dogs, no cats, no birds, no lizards, no snakes. I've heard stories of people getting away with it, right? That's not to say that people don't try to get away with it and maybe even do get away with it, but barracks policies usually say no pets allowed, so no. We made it last time by at least 20, did we? Did we do really good that time? We're only at 36 right now. We're off to a slow start. Hit that like button. 150 likes is what we're trying to get to before the end of the stream. All right, usually do the streams for about an hour. At the hotel, waiting for my physical at MEPS tomorrow. Ship out 9/6. Well, good luck to you. It's Ooga Booga. That's awesome. Good luck to you. We got a super chat. Let's jump straight to our super chat, shall we? We got Raymond dropping a donation saying Cavalry Scout or 11 Bravo. I don't know. It really depends on probably your personal preference, right? I mean, you know, your 11 Bravos are going to be the ones deep in the action, right? If you're deployed, obviously, right? If you're deployed, deep in the action, kicking in the doors, doing the raids, you know, assaulting the enemy, all sorts of craziness, right? Your scouts are more of reconnaissance, right? So they're going to be from a distance. They're going to be, you know, trying to gather intel, trying to find the best possible way for those 11 Bravos to assault the objective. 11 Bravos a lot of times are walking everywhere they go for the most part, you know, maybe get to ride in vehicles occasionally. Sometimes you end up in a mechanized infantry unit and you end up with maybe Stryker vehicles. But the Cav Scouts, they could end up with Strykers, they could end up with Bradleys. So definitely not as much walking if you're a Cav Scout. So it kind of comes down to personal preference as far as what exactly you're interested in doing, and which one of those would best suit that. It's kind of a tough thing, right? My recommendation, like if I had to choose Cav Scout or 11 Bravo, I'd probably rather do the Cav Scout. Probably rather do the reconnaissance stuff. So, thanks for the super chat, my friend. Let's see, what else do we have? My son just arrived at Fort Huachuca for AIT and was told he is not going to start training for a month. Any idea why? They might be behind. There could be a lot of reasons. Sometimes they're just behind on their schedule. Other things hold them up. Maybe the class before them had a bunch of COVID cases, so they're delayed. I don't know. There could be a lot of reasons. There could be all sorts of things. So some kind of delay in training. So the thing that sucks about that is if you're not going to start for a month, you don't get time off for a month and be like, okay, well, just chill out, guys. Watch TV, play video games for a month. No, you're probably stuck doing a lot of like crappy details, cleaning, doing maybe some classes. They're gonna find something for them to do. It's AIT, so it's not like basic, but AIT you might get the weekends off, so they might still get to enjoy the weekends. But during the week, they're gonna find something for them to do. So that kind of sucks. So they'll be stuck just doing crappy stuff, and you just gotta maybe let your son know, hey, this guy I watch on YouTube, he's a veteran. He said to try to stay motivated. It's probably gonna suck because you're probably gonna get stuck with some crappy ass details until you do start training. Then cool, start your training and then get done with training and get to your Army actual job. So just gotta do your best to stay motivated. Crappy situations like that happen sometimes. What is your experience with Marines? I didn't really do any work with Marines when I was in active duty. I know Marines now and cool dudes, the ones that I do know. Yeah, I never did really. The only kind of thing I ever did with the Marines when I was in the Army was when I did my AIT at Fort Leonard Wood. Marines would also do AIT or their little training at Fort Leonard Wood as well, but we didn't really have a whole lot of interaction with them. So, do you need to take a psychological test when you join the military? Sort of. I mean, when you go through MEPS, there'll be someone that kind of like does some interviews with you, asks you some crazy questions and everything. So sort of, maybe not to the extent of like you would do with like a psychiatrist or like a dedicated professional, but they do to a certain extent do some psychological stuff. Some recruiters will help you get in shape. That's true. Yeah, it's not, a lot of times you can talk to a recruiter, especially if you do like the first Future Soldier program. That's usually not until you're actually already joined anyways though, but Future Soldier program you can do PT with them, but sometimes you might have opportunities even before then. You know, hey, I'm trying to get into shape, I want to join. Then maybe they'll let you do PT with them even before you even get signed up. So yeah, definitely talk to a recruiter too. That's also a good way to kind of help out with getting into shape. Got an appointment with my recruiter tomorrow to start the whole process of enlistment to the Army Reserves. Really wanting a 15 Tango. Can you still get to flight school from reserves? I barely know anything about reserves in my less flight school, so I don't know. But save those questions for your recruiter, right? Your recruiter will be able to help you out with those kind of things. That stuff I don't know anything about, so I can't really help you with that. And martial arts training also helps with cardio. You could. I mean, you'll do combatives in the Army too if you were really interested in that kind of martial arts stuff. But yeah, it's probably pretty good cardio if you go to some kind of gyms and start doing some of that stuff. Boyfriend starts white phase tomorrow. You're really chilled and laid back. He said one of the guys in his platoon was throwing rocks at him. He he went up to him and confronted him. Was he wrong in confronting him? No, I mean, you gotta stand your ground, right? I mean, there's a lot of things you probably could do. I mean, you probably wouldn't, like, I would probably be all for, like, standing up for yourself and fighting back or whatever, but in the Army, that can get yourself in trouble too, right? So, like, let's say if you confronted him by also, you know, punching the guy, doing whatever kind of a thing, then now you're both are in trouble. And that kind of sucks, right? So sometimes you have to kind of refrain from those kind of things. Your instinct may tell you to beat the crap out of that person, but now that just ends up resulting in both of you being in trouble. Now, if you're just confronting him verbally, I mean, no big deal, right? I mean, yeah, stand up for yourself kind of a thing. Bring it up to the drill sergeants if you really want to go that far kind of a thing, but yeah. When you bring it to violence, though, now you end up both getting in trouble. Why did I join the Army? Long story short, I wanted to just have the military experience background to use that for good, good resume looking thing. Mainly just a good background. I wanted the accomplishment. I wanted the background. I wanted that to help me with a great career in the civilian side. So that was why. If you want to know a little bit more in-depth, detailed story, I have a video on that. You just look for that on my channel. Can you refuse a direct order from a superior if you deemed it embarrassing and demeaning? Example, orders to dance. I mean, yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, probably they're not going to punish you for that. Like if, okay, let's say in that example, someone ordered you to dance, right? And you just told them no. I mean, they might make you do some push-ups, whatever, if they want to be assholes about it, but they can't write you up. You can't get Article 15 and lose rank for that and be like, yeah, I told him to dance and he didn't dance. No. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, you definitely probably could. Was there a lot of people who got off of work and just stayed in the barracks gaming all day? Like, not an AIT. I mean, you could do that when you're actually at your unit. You know, if you had the day off, it's the weekend, it's a holiday, your unit just gave you the day off, whatever. Even sure, you can do whatever you want in the barracks then when you're at your unit. But yeah, when you're in basic training AIT, it's a lot more stricter. You don't quite have that awesome freedom that you get. Ant farm. Good God, what if the tank breaks? You didn't have an ant farm holy hand grenade? Man, missing out. That's the way to go in the barracks, is have an ant farm. I mean, probably gonna get ants anyways. They're just gonna probably mate with the other ants you already have in the barracks in the first place. Can you have plants in the barracks? Yeah, you probably get away with plants. I don't think they'd give a crap about having plants. I mean, they might die if you take off to the field for a couple weeks or whatever, unless you have some kind of crafty way of being able to auto-water them while you're gone, or pass them off to somebody that's not going to the field or something. But yeah, they probably wouldn't care if you had plants. Any tips for someone older, 34, and prior service going to basic again? I went to basic in 2005, but it seemed like a new Army. Did they tell you you have to do the whole basic, or did they tell you have to do the refresher version? Because depending on how long you've been out for, that determines like if you have to go to full-on basic training. But sometimes if you're prior service, like prior Army, and it hasn't been super long since you got out of the Army, they'll make you do this refresher version that's not quite as bad as actual basic training. But yeah, if you have to do, let's say an example, you have to do the full-on thing, just treat it the same way. Expect it to suck really bad. At least you have a little bit better of a heads up probably than the other people will, because you've done it before. It'll be a little bit different compared to when you did in 2005, but there'll be some things that'll be very much the same. So just try to stay motivated and everything. Hopefully you get lucky and just have the refresher version, which is shorter and not quite as horrible. So. Was it what do SF snipers usually do? Do they have snipers in SF? I don't know if they do. I mean, they probably do. I don't know. They snipe stuff. I don't know. There's probably a lot of training. I mean, you probably do a lot of training. They go on deployments and they do sniper stuff. I don't know. Probably, I don't have a good answer for you probably there. Wish I could pay more attention to the stream, but I'm a bit busy right now. Well, you just missed it because just a minute ago, I was giving out tips of how to quickly earn $1 million in the Army, you know, and those are really hard tips to come by. But hey, you know, if you can't dedicate the full on time, then you just won't get those cool tips. I get it. It's cool. Is it true you can change your MOS after your first initial contract? Maybe. Do not rely on that. Do not think that, yeah, it's guaranteed. I'm going to come into the Army, do this MOS, and I'm going to change this MOS. I've talked about it in a couple of videos, actually, I think. There's the possibility, but there's no guarantee. There's several factors that have to kind of fall into place to allow you to change your MOS, right? Things like the current MOS you're in has to not be in big demand, right? If you're in an MOS that they really don't want to lose people, they may not allow you to reclass, right, to another MOS. If you're trying to get into an MOS that is over strength, then they're currently not taking people, then they don't want you to move to that MOS. So there's a lot of factors that can kind of play into there. Potentially can be a thing, right? You get to the last year of your Army contract and you want to re-enlist to stay in the Army, but you want to change MOSs. You talk to that retention NCO and you tell them, hey, this is what I'm looking to do. It might be available and it might not be available, but don't count on it. Don't think that, yeah, I'm going to do this MOS just to get myself the foot in the door, no big deal, and then I'll switch to this other cooler MOS. That may not be an option for you, so it depends. There's a lot of things that are really unknown until you actually get in the Army to kind of determine that. Most AITs don't start right away anyway, usually because they don't have enough students to start the class. Yeah, sometimes that can be a problem. There can be all sorts of kind of reasons sometimes as to why they don't start. Does the Army have dress blues? They do. That's the dress uniform, the ASUs, the Army Service Uniform. So during formal events, during the boards, during other kind of special functions, they might wear them. Sometimes not very often, but it depends. Send me some good luck waiting on these MEP stocks to approve my waiver. Love you, Chris. Well, good luck to you, Justin. Hopefully it goes well, and hopefully you make it into your dream job. How SAPs work. If you do an active duty, you have to go through a selection course. If you're in reserves, they just pretty much take you, from what I understand from the reserve side. So it's a way easier to get into PsyOps on the reserve side than it is on the active duty side, but then the reserve PsyOps don't get to do as cool of stuff as the active PsyOps do, so that's kind of the trade-off from it. But I don't know a whole lot from it. I had a buddy that went through it. He did the selection course. He also had done SFAS for Special Forces, and he said it was way easier than SFAS was for the selection course for PsyOps. All right, how far behind am I? I'm going to skip down the questions a little ways just to catch up a little bit. If I happen to skip by your question, you can try asking it again. Don't get annoying with it and overwhelming with asking your question. If I didn't answer your question about like the second or third time trying to ask it, hit me up on Instagram, okay? Just links in the description. It's super easy. People don't understand how easy that is. You follow me on Instagram, message me, I get back to you probably in less than a week, okay? All right, we'll talk a little bit about Afghanistan, I guess. So an Afghanistan veteran myself, what's your thoughts on the whole situation over there? Do you agree with what Biden is doing? Because I definitely do not. It's a tough thing, right? I definitely knew that us pulling out of that was just going to allow Taliban, ISIS, whatever, to just run over those people. I have never been to Afghanistan, but I've been to Iraq twice. And from everything I've talked to from people who had been to Afghanistan, they said it was very much like Iraq, where a lot of the Afghan army and police are like the Iraqi army and police, where they just are not very motivated and definitely not very eager to want to like defend their country and will definitely run, which is what we're kind of obviously seeing. So I definitely feel like it was going to happen with us leaving Afghanistan. I'm kind of on the fence about it, right? Because at the same time, we shouldn't keep pouring our money into defending the country. They should, defend themselves. I can understand some support kind of a thing, but they should be defending themselves without having us spend a bunch of money to defend them and do what we're doing. But it also, at the same time, us leaving is going to make it to where they're going to take over. So I don't know. I feel like it's a lose-lose situation. Either we leave and we don't blow a bunch of money on supporting Afghanistan and they get overrun, and now we potentially have now a country filled with terrorists that could go after us or go after other countries or whatever. Or we end up staying there and spending a bunch of money when we could use that money for other things. I don't know. It's tough. It's kind of, I think either way you look at it, there's probably something that's going to go wrong. Do you watch Angry Cops? I do. Occasionally I watch them from now and then, from time to time. You ever deployed to guard the southwest border? I'm going soon. All my deployments were Iraq, so I didn't do anything because I was active duty. So usually, guard or reserves do that stuff. Sometimes active duties go to do stuff like that, but I didn't do any of that. How hard is it to get a 31 kilo or a 56 mic? I don't know anything about any of those MOSs. Still have a ways to go due to weight, but these are some of the jobs I'm interested in. Any advice? Do your research. I don't know anything about any of those MOSs. I couldn't probably help you with any of those, but you know, get in shape, do a lot of cardio. Get with a, if you can't do it on your own, get with a, you know, gym specialist kind of a thing, you know, the personal trainers. Try it that way. Since processing can take up to 2 weeks, what do you do those 2 weeks? Usually it's only a week. You're talking about like when you go to basic training, it's usually only 1 week. AIT is usually even shorter. AIT in processing usually only a couple days. Usually, but basic training one usually a week. I mean, sometimes it can be longer because of COVID now, but during a week, I mean, you're getting yourself into the system, you're filling out some paperwork, you're getting the required immunizations. You know, you got to get the flu shot, you got to get the penicillin shot, all sorts of stuff. You're doing some classes, you're getting your uniforms issued to you, you're getting fitted for your dress uniform, all that stuff. So it's a lot of that admin type of thing, getting fitted for your equipment. I'm a 15-year-old, and I've been interested in enlisting since the Army. Once I turn 18, any knowledge you'd care to share with me? Just stay up to date on what's going on. You know, do some homework, right? Learn some things. It's cool too, right? If you watch a bunch of my videos, sometimes it helps you. Even other individuals, if you want. Make sure you stay in good shape. All that kind of stuff. Nicky MGTV is transferring stateside. Yeah, I know. He was telling me he was coming. He said he might stop into Colorado. He's talking about, I guess he has I forget who, he's got a family member somewhere nearby. I don't know if he wants me to like disclose whereby, so I won't say whereby, but he's got apparently a family member nearby. So he was talking to me about how he might stop in. Maybe we'll meet up and hang out for a little bit or something like that if he does stop in. I stopped in his live stream earlier today and stuff and said hi. I guess it was his birthday. Said I wish him a happy birthday. Will you bring back MOS Monday? If so, could you do one on 68 PA? It's pretty difficult to find information about it and that's what I'm enlisting as. If I do bring back MOS Monday, it probably won't be anytime too soon. I have thought about it before. The hard part is that I've done a lot of the main popular, there might be a couple here and there, but the main popular MOSs that people want to know about, the ones that are actually going to bring people in to watch them because they want to learn about that MOS. You get into some more of the obscure MOSs that not quite as many people are searching for. Then it gets a little bit tougher. You know, you create the content for it and you might not get that many views, which overall can cause, you know, problems for other videos on the channel too, because now they're not getting recommended because they see that this video didn't do very well. So it's this whole crazy algorithm thing, right, with YouTube. So it's tough. I don't know. I've thought about it maybe here and there. I might, but I'm not 100% sure if I will and when or anything like that, if I will do MOS Monday stuff again. Yeah, I'd like to know your thoughts on Taliban. It sucked. I don't know. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. Great guys. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. When you do basic training AIT, how long is the time gap between the two? Do they allow you to go home until AIT starts? No. Usually the gap is very short. In some cases, it's a day, maybe 2 days. Maybe it's the weekend, right? Sometimes it's a Saturday, Sunday. Sometimes it really just depends. And you might get a chance to, like in my case, I graduated basic training on Friday, I think it was. I think Saturday morning, I headed off to my AIT, checked in, and they told us to be back Sunday evening. So I got like a day and a half-ish or whatever it would be to kind of enjoy some time and everything. I couldn't go home. Can't leave the immediate area, basically. And then I had to come back to check in. Some people might have less than that. Somewhere's around there, but no, you won't get to go home. Unless you happen to live in the same area that you're going to AIT, then sure, maybe. But that's about it. Besides the dream sheet, my recruiter said after basic and AIT, I choose what station I want to go to. Almost signed because of that, but not sure if that's true or not. I'm going to go with no. I don't know if your recruiter has some kind of special thing that maybe allows that, but not usually. So usually is how it ends up going is you'll go and you'll do your dream sheet, right? And depending on what you put on your dream sheet, if that location, let's say you put Fort Carson, just as an example, right? That was your number one choice. Fort Carson is the number one place you would love to get stationed at. You sign up for a specific MOS and Fort Carson has units that really need that MOS, then you might have a very good chance of getting that one. But if you put a location on there that is super hard to get, they don't need your MOS for it, then yeah, you're probably not gonna have a good chance of getting it. I don't, I'm not a recruiter, so you gotta sometimes a lot of times take what I say with a grain of salt kind of a thing. But I've never heard of a thing where you get to just basically choose where you want to go. No, you do the dream sheet. If it happens to be a place that they needed that MOS, then you might get it. If not, they're gonna send you to where they need you. If Fort Hood, Texas needs whatever MOS you are, then you're going to Fort Hood, Texas, even if it's not on your dream sheet and you didn't pick to go there. Got Jonathan Kobe on staff duty right now. I'm on battalion staff duty. Come save me. All right, I'm gonna put in a call to your staff duty. I'm gonna say that I'm a soldier downtown, wherever you're at, drunk, and I need specifically, what do we like, Private Kobe, Specialist Kobe, whatever that's going on. If I can get Kobe to come pick me up from the bar and bring me back to the barracks, because sometimes staff duty does that kind of thing, right? You grab the staff duty van, head on downtown, kill a little bit of time, right? Hang out with some buddies or whatever, head back to staff duty and be like, yeah, man, I picked that guy up, drop him out of the barracks. He's good now. All's good. And then get you out of the barracks or get you out of the staff duty. How about that? Not really. I won't really do that though. But that would be a plan. That would be probably the plan to get you out of it. We got, I can't highlight it, I don't think. No, I can't highlight it. But Iron Father Gaming, thanks for joining the Chaos Elite if you're in here in the live stream. By the way, if you guys don't know about Chaos Elite, you can check it out. I got this new thing I'm going to try to roll out with pretty soon where I'm going to do these cool membership ID cards, or not ID cards, but membership cards. They're plastic, so they're not like cardboard or paper or anything like that. They're actually plastic cards that I ordered. So it'll say like, Chaos Elite membership card, and on the back of it's got a QR code for special access to like a website area kind of a thing probably. But if you do platoon sergeant above, so platoon sergeant or commander, you get the cool card. The new thing I'm gonna try out. I only ordered 50, so we're gonna try it out for a little bit and see how it kind of goes. Drink half a bottle of Crown and AIT at Redstone, and Sarge saw me in the bathroom throwing up. Man, it'll happen. I know some wild things sometimes would happen on pass, like in AIT. Like in basic, you don't get passes, but AIT a lot of times you'll get like a weekend pass if you're done well and you've passed your tests and everything like that. Then you'll get to take off for the weekend. Some people get freaking crazy. They got like a little bit of freedom and they would go nuts with that freedom. Finish off the tea. Had some nice peach tea that I was drinking there. If you guys really wanted to know that kind of a thing, no sponsorship deal, none of that kind of stuff. I don't think Lipton does that kind of sponsorship. What are we currently at for likes? We're at 68 likes. We're trying to get to 150 likes. So take a look down below. If you have not liked the stream, hit that thumbs up for me. I would greatly appreciate it. I really want to get out of the States. Sometimes you have to re-enlist for it. You might get lucky and get that on your first assignment. It really just varies, right? Maybe you get a unit that gets to go on a little short deployment, maybe a 6-month deployment or something like that to like Poland. I don't know. But it always can be a thing you probably re-enlist for if you really want to stay in the Army for a long time. Say you do a 4-year contract. You can try to re-enlist to go overseas. That's probably your bigger chance of being able to go where you want to go is re-enlisting, but it still does depend on availability still too though. But that's a little bit easier. Sometimes you can talk to your branch manager is what it's called. You find out how to get in contact with your branch manager for your MOS area. Call them up, send them an email, something, say, hey, I'm looking to go this place. Usually you won't be able to do that right away, but maybe after you've been to a location for a couple years, then you can try to, put in through your branch manager to see if they'll send you somewhere. But that's still not a guarantee either. What are Sundays like in the Army? In basic training, it's a lot of cleanup. Go to church if you want to go to church. That's about it. AIT, you might have a little bit more freedom depending on your AIT location where you're just off, right? You get to sleep in a little bit maybe. Maybe you still have some cleanup you have to do, but maybe you have some free time to be able to go to the PX if you want. Once you're at your regular duty station, if you're not in a specific type of MOS or unit that works the weekends, because sometimes it happens like cooks, MPs, other individuals, right? Then you might get to just chill out, right? Have a day off. You want to go to church, go to church. If you want to sleep in all day, sleep in all day. So you got the day off, right? Saturdays, Sundays, for a lot of units, for a lot of individuals, it's just the weekend and you're off. Right now, the 35 mic has a sign-on bonus on the Army website. It's 15,000. I'm about to PFC into basic. Then would I get the bonus after AIT or before? Thank you for your service and tips. Usually, I can't confirm this for 100%, but usually you don't get the bonus until after you've finished your initial training. They want to make sure you're going to pass everything before they give you that money, especially if the bonus is for a specific MOS, right? They want to make sure that you're going to pass that MOS, you're going to pass that AIT. So after you pass AIT, sometime after you go to your first unit, you all of a sudden get it in your paycheck kind of a thing. They should tell you in like a stipulation if it's going to be in payments or if it's all in one lump sum. A lot of it usually is lump sum kind of a thing, and you get it in your paycheck. But yeah, it's going to be not until after you've probably graduated AIT at some point in time. Will I be able to watch the stream after it's done? Love to capture all the answers properly. Yeah, it is available. There is a playlist on the channel that has recent live streams, and you can check out that playlist to see the past live streams. Chris, I'm in the process of filing a disability claim. Any tips to get a better rating? Sometimes the DAV is pretty helpful. Like if you have a local DAV where you're at, you make an appointment with them and talk to them, tell them what you're trying to do, and they can usually give you tips as far as maximizing your chances for a rating. They also have VSOs, the Veteran Service Advocates, or Officers, Veteran Service Office. I don't forget what it stands for, VSO or something like that, or whatever it is, VBA, or no. I forget what it's called. We got a super chat. We did a super chat here in a second. I'm trying to figure out what it's called. I can't remember what it's called. There's usually two places. DAV is one, and I forget the name of the other thing. It starts with a V, though. But one of those locations, sometimes you talk to somebody there, tell them what you're trying to do, and they usually can give you good tips as far as like for what the specific reason is you're trying to increase a rating or get a rating for. What do you usually have to provide to increase your chance of getting approved for that rating, kind of a thing. So look into those things, I would say, Jay Devorn. Super chat. Let's scroll down. Just some geeky guy with a $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Chris, to be honest, I don't think we should return to Afghanistan because after 20 years and $2 trillion wasted, we barely accomplished anything. I mean, that is partly true too, right? I mean, obviously, if we accomplished great things, I feel like they would have been able to basically be able to defend the country better, or they would have been able to, you know, hold their ground. Maybe we would have better trained them. Now they're just getting all of our equipment, and they're getting all of our Humvees, all of our MRAPs, whatever equipment we gave their the Afghan army to be able to utilize. They're just taking that stuff now. That's basically what happened in Iraq too. We were there. We had all this equipment we left behind because it was probably cheap. I don't know what the deal was, but probably a big inconvenience for us to ship all that stuff back. And they kind of handed it over to the Iraqi army, and a lot of that stuff kind of fell into the Taliban, ISIS hands and stuff. So, yeah. But yeah, appreciate the $5 super chat, man. Appreciate you. I could highlight it. We got another super chat? Or is it glitching out? Oh, there it is right there. Donald with a super chat. In future MP, what are the chances of me and C in combat on a deployment? Right now, the chances of deploying are pretty rare. Well, I don't know. They might be changed now. It sounds like we're sending a lot of people back to Afghanistan, so your chances might increase for deployments now because of that. But seeing combat on deployment, I don't know. I couldn't tell you too for sure for MP's side of the house. Most of what I saw, like on the Iraq side, when we were in Iraq, was MPs patrolling the FOB They'd be on the fob patrolling. You know, if you're driving your 5-ton, your Humvee or whatever, on the fob too fast, they would pull your ass over, let your command know that, hey, this vehicle is going too fast on the fob. You get in trouble through that way. They did missions outside the gate, but I really don't know what they did outside the gate. So I really couldn't give you a very good insight as far as chances of seeing kind of combat type of thing as an MP. I don't know. Couldn't really tell you. But even right now, it's still kind of rare that you even deploy in the first place. But now with Afghanistan starting to kick back up, you might actually deploy. Because even in my classes that I teach with soldiers, there's not very many people with combat patches anymore. It's a fairly small number of people. How does chow hall and basic training work? If you saw that reaction video, it's a lot like that. I mean, you just kind of don't talk, stand in line, shuffle, get your stuff, sit down, eat, don't look around, hurry up and eat, get the hell out, wait for everybody else to finish. You don't get a chance to really enjoy your food in basic training. You get a little bit better of a chance to enjoy your food in AIT. And then of course you can do whatever the hell you want basically when you get out of your initial training, you're at your unit. So, but yeah. Gotta head out to work. Best of luck with the stream, homie. Well, thanks, Mr. Knight. Have a good time at work. Is that where you head out to work? Yeah, have a good time at work. Another super chat. Junior Drizzy dropping a super chat. Thank you, my friend. What cologne do you use? I'll laugh my ass off. I know, weird question. I don't really wear cologne. I mean, I think I have some Axe body spray that like the girlfriend, you know, doesn't mind or likes or whatever, but I don't really wear cologne really. So Axe and whatever. Usually it's a thing of like, I let my girlfriend pick which scent she likes the best, and that's what I'll go with. Otherwise, I don't really ever wear cologne or anything. Thanks for the super chat, though. Let's see. Oh, you see Iron Father's talking about trying to link everything for like the Discord. Oh, and then VGMR will help you out. He's one of our mods. He's one of the mods over on the Discord channel too. He'll help you out with getting things linked up. If you're trying to link everything up in the Discord. In here, it should automatically do it. Like if I'm looking over at the other chat, I'm a little bit behind though. Yeah, it already has the little rank next to your name and everything like that to show that up. How does holiday leave work? Christmas is a pretty easy one. They usually try to maximize people to go on leave during Christmas time frame. Put in your leave form. You have a form you have to fill out, put in for it, and then sign out at staff duty. Go wherever it is you're going to. You got to sign back in at a certain time. Usually pretty simple. And then usually other times during the year, units will have block leave for you to take vacation as well. A lot of them pretty commonly do it like around 4th of July, but not everybody can do it around 4th of July, so they have to kind of stagger things. But yeah, I mean, for Christmas is usually a pretty easy one to get access for. That's mainly like, well, that's usually the only one that they'll usually send people home for, like from basic training or AIT, is Christmas. Any other holiday like Thanksgiving or whatever, they're gonna make you train through it, or you'll make you stay there. They won't let you go home. But usually Christmas time frame, if you happen to be doing basic training during Christmas time, then they'll have you do Christmas Exodus, and so you'll get to go home for that time frame for maybe like a week or whatever, then have to be back. There you go. I'm using the VSO, Veteran Service Officer. Yeah, that's a good way. Or DAV. I would say definitely one of those would probably be pretty good. I've never used a VSO. I've briefly used DAV, and that was somewhat helpful. But I've heard other people talk, pretty good about VSO. So it really just depends. But those people are supposed to be kind of neutral from the VA. So you do either VSO or the DAV, and then they're kind of neutral with that, and they're able to kind of like give you advice as far as how to possibly increase your chances for ratings. How do you become a gunner? It's not usually like MOS or anything like that. It all comes down to like your MOS as far as your unit and what kind of vehicles you have. Like 88 mics, that's what I was, right? You could potentially be a gunner in that kind of position. Like we had gun trucks. So sometimes we would designate for a specialist, a private, whoever we kind of wanted to give that responsibility to be the gunner for that gun truck. Other MOSs, I'm not sure how they usually kind of handle it. Sometimes like with tankers, it may just be a kind of a work your way through all the different positions inside the Abrams tank before you become a gunner. So it kind of varies. Difference between an 88 Hotel and 88 Mike. Well, 88 Mikes are the vehicles, so they drive the trucks. I'm not 100% sure, but isn't 88 Hotel the more of the cargo type of thing, like with the containers and the ships and stuff like that? So I couldn't really tell you too well. I can tell you 88 Mikes drive trucks, move ammo, move parts, equipment here and there. 88 Hotel, I've heard, I think do like shipping containers and boat stuff. I don't know a whole lot. Have you watched Mortal Kombat, Chris? I have seen it. What would you say is better about Army infantry compared to Marines? Trying to figure out which is better for me. Thanks for doing this. Say Army infantry compared to Marines? I don't know. I don't think if I get it. The main thing usually with the Army is the Army will allow you to pick your MOS. Marines might let you pick like infantry because it's a pretty high in demand kind of field usually with a lot of Army and Marines. But as far as like the differences, I couldn't really tell you too well. I wouldn't be very helpful on that. How do you choose your role as 11 Bravo? I want to be an 11 Bravo, but I really like AT with anti-tank stuff like AT-4s, the Javelin, or the other one, the Carl Gustav, I don't know what that is. Javelin, how do I become an anti-tank rifleman? Sometimes a lot of that stuff is just what the leadership needs, right? If they need, like if they already have a pretty good individual that's tasked with that kind of thing, not speaking from a 11 Bravo myself, obviously, but with a lot of MOSs, if they already have someone in that position that they are pretty confident in that person, they might leave them in that position. You might never be able to do so. But if they have someone who's in that position that's messing up, then you might be able to have an opportunity to slide in. You can request it and tell them, hey, I want to be this individual. And if one of the squads needs someone at that position, then you might get it. But a lot of times it usually comes down to like the squad leader, the section sergeant, kind of determining what they need and who they feel would be best fit for that kind of role in that squad or that team or whatever. Is there a way to find out what duty stations need what MOS? Or is that a question for recruiter? Recruiter might have access to that. I don't know if they would have access to that though, because that comes down to what's called the MTO, to be able to see what the manning personnel is and everything like that, as far as what locations are short on this MOS to make 100% and what percentage they're at for that MOS. So that's not like a public thing that you can usually get access to find out the MTO. So I don't know if the recruiter can. I don't even know if the recruiter even has access to that. So it's kind of a tough thing. What do you teach? I teach the FBCB2 JCR and JBCP systems to soldiers. So I teach them how to use it, how to maintain it, how to troubleshoot it, all that kind of stuff. So I work at the Mission Training Complex on Fort Carson, and so I teach soldiers how to use that system, which is for those of you who don't know what the JCR or the JBCP is, it's a navigation system or reporting system the soldiers use. The older version, the BFT, right? Current version is JBCP. Some units still use JCR until they get fielded and get upgraded with the JBCP, but navigation system that goes inside your vehicles to be able to track where you're at and track where everybody else is on the battlefield, but also be able to send up reports. Let's see, last time I smoked the devil's lettuce was when I was 14. Should I tell my recruiter? Is there even a point to tell them or her? I mean, I'm assuming you saying that you did when you're 14 and now you're like, what, 17, 18, 19, something like that? Probably not. Probably doesn't matter. I mean, I'd be honest just to be transparent, right? If someone ever asks, that you, hey, did you smoke marijuana? Be like, yeah, but it was way back when I was 14. I haven't touched it since then. They're probably not going to give a crap then. If it was recent, like, within last month, weeks or whatever, then yeah, they're going to care about that kind of stuff because you're going to come up hot. But yeah, if it was something like several years back, I would still be honest, just to show your honesty. But they're not going to care. They're not going to care if it was something that old from a long time ago. Especially since like a lot of states it's legal in kind of a thing. It's not legal federally, so you can't continue to do it when you come into the Army or even work for the government. But yeah, they're not going to care if it was a long time ago. Hello, I'm thinking about joining the Army, and I was wondering, can you become a warrant officer if your MOS is EOD? I don't know for sure. Some MOSs, a lot of MOSs have like a warrant officer position. Some don't really. So I don't know if that's a thing that's available in EOD. But usually there's like requirements, right? You have to work your way up to like either E5 or E6, and then you can put in for WALKS, which is the warrant officer candidate school. And then you can go and try to become a warrant officer that way. But specifically if EOD can do that, I don't know. You'd have to probably do some research on that, maybe talk to a recruiter. But that's not something you can usually do right away. The only really way to go directly into being a warrant officer is if you go, was it streets to seats or streets to flight? I don't remember what it's called, but basically going straight into flight school to be like a helicopter pilot as a warrant officer. Man, you're making me reconsider Re-Enlist. Aboard it in civilian life. Hey, it's not what I'm trying to do here. I mean, if that's something you really want to do, go for it, right? Sometimes the civilian life is great, right? I definitely prefer my civilian life over my Army life. But hey, some people, you know, I have some friends that went back in because of the healthcare, and they really wanted it for their families and stuff. But each person's got to make their own judgment call if going back into the military is right for them or not. How are we doing on likes? We're doing 84 likes right now. We're trying to get to 150, my friends. Take a look down below if you have not liked the stream yet. Make sure you hit that like button. We're at about 56 minutes or so. About 10-15 minutes. We're going to go backwards in the chat and maybe try to see some other questions that maybe I overlooked. Hey Chris, hope your day's going good. Do Cav Scouts get to choose what kind of unit they want to be a part of as far as heavy vehicles or Humvee stuff like that? No, you're going to get stuck in a unit wherever they need you. So if there's a specific unit that's a heavy unit or whatever kind of a thing and they need 19 deltas, right, then you're going to get stuck there. So no, you don't really get to pick that. Just be based on needs of the Army. A lot of what you do in the Army is based on needs of the Army. Prior service Marine, I'm looking to go active duty, but have to enlist in an MOS based on prior service business rules. Thinking 88 Mike or 74 Delta. Any recommendations? I don't even know what a 74 Delta is. What's a 74 Delta? Let's find out to give a little bit better of an opinion. Oh, 74 Delta MOS. Ooh, Seaburn, huh? Seaburn's tough. The people that I've talked to that were Seaburn, they didn't get to do a whole lot in that MOS because there's not a big threat of chemical, warfare in current type of battles and stuff like that. So sometimes they get stuck doing a lot of training. Sometimes get stuck doing a lot of stuff outside of Seaburn stuff. And that varies. 88 Mike, probably much better chance of actually driving trucks and moving stuff around. Not like a truck driver does or anything like that, but like moving ammo to the ranges or parts around or equipment or whatever kind of a thing. Sometimes driving a bus. But I feel like 88 Mike has a higher chance of doing your job compared to a 74 Delta getting to do your job. So good luck with that. Just heard from my son for the first time today. He's still in reception, 11 Bravo OSIT at Fort Benning. Well, awesome. Good deal. Tell your son I said good luck. He may have no idea who the hell I am, but good luck to him. Hopefully all goes well. And yeah, gets an awesome duty assignment. Has fun in the Army. Doesn't suck too bad. All that kind of stuff. Is basic training, or in basic training, how hard is it to pass rifle qualification at 100%? What do you mean, like qualify 40 out of 40? Like a expert? I mean, it really depends on you. I never qualified expert. I think the best I ever did was sharpshooter. I think the best score I ever had was like 30. I don't even remember what a sharpshooter is, but maybe like only a few shots over the minimum for sharpshooter, for a rifle anyways, for M4s. Not, but like, yeah, I don't know. I think it depends on personal experience. Some people have an easy time, qualifying expert. Some people it's a little harder. So I guess it really just depends on you. How to become a crew member / pilot on a helicopter? Well, if you're gonna be a pilot on a helicopter, you gotta be a warrant officer. It's a warrant officer position. You gotta go to flight school. Crew member type of thing. I don't remember what the MOS is, but there's a crew chief type of MOS that kind of does stuff has a role, and that's an enlisted thing. And you could probably go for that if you don't want to go the flight school route. Best subscription I ever made on YouTube was this one. Well, good deal. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. All that stuff. Thanks. How's the Airborne school? I hear it's bad on your knees. I never went through it. All my friends that went through it, yeah, pretty much most of them probably have bad knees now. They're out of the Army and stuff. So yeah, it happens. I mean, it's a lot of shock. It's not a nice, steady, landing like when you go and do it commercially, right? For, civilian sector, it's a pretty tough landing, especially sometimes there's times where you don't land perfectly and it's a hard landing. And I've known people that said that they've landed and got knocked out, and it happens. So yeah, I would imagine it's pretty rough on your body just in general. Hey Chris, is there any Army habit that you would recommend everyone should have in their civilian life? Like good habits that you get from the Army? Probably the primary one is being like 10 to 15 minutes early to stuff, right? I feel like that's a great habit to have. That's a pretty common thing in the Army, is that you're 10 minutes to being 10 minutes prior, all sorts of things, 10 or 15 minutes prior to being somewhere where you're supposed to be, right? That allows a little bit of time for flexibility if something goes wrong or you're at the wrong location, but just making sure that you're on time. And I feel like that's a great habit to keep that you get from the Army. I try my best. I mean, sometimes there's times when it slips up a little bit, but for the most part, I try to kind of maintain that habit of trying to be about 10, 15 minutes early to stuff, especially if it's a new place I've never been to, because I want to try to, sometimes even more than 10 or 15 minutes, sometimes it's like 30 minutes, it just depends, sometimes on what the task is, but being early is always a good thing. The motto usually is, there's no such thing as being on time. You're either early or you're late. Early is being on time, but for the most part, there is no such thing. 11 Bravo, get MOS for long term. I feel like that usually comes down to you, right? For some people, no. Some people don't want to do 11 Bravo MOS for 20 plus years and retire. If you are one of those individuals that get into that type of MOS as an 11 Bravo and you love it and you're having a great time and it's fun, it's a great experience for you, then you might have no problem doing 20 plus years. I think that just comes down to your MOS and whether or not it's something you're enjoying or not. Sometimes your leadership, sometimes a lot of other factors, where you're stationed at, to kind of help decide if that's going to be something that you want to stay in for that long, kind of a thing, right? And your personal goals too. I mean, that comes down to it. Like me, my goal was never to retire from the Army. It was always just to use it as a stepping stone for other things, see that experience, and get the hell out. Just got to Korea. I'm at 13 Juliet. Is it true you can pick duty station after Korea? I got to pick my duty station because I re-enlisted for it. So I don't know. You would have to talk to somebody like your career counselor or one of the individuals, your retention NCO, because I don't know if that's a guaranteed thing. It might be a thing you get to do. I don't know. I got to pick where I was going because I re-enlisted while I was in Korea. So I mean, my first and second choice weren't available. I tried to get Fort Irwin, that wasn't available. Fort Huachuca wasn't available, and then finally my third choice is Fort Carson, that was available. So I got my third choice, but I nonetheless, I guess, got to pick where I wanted to go to. But just in general, I don't know. Maybe it might be because there's a thing where you can kind of work with individuals because they need to give you orders as far as where you're going to after you leave. And they allow you to kind of pick that. And then if that's available, then they write you the orders for that. So maybe in that kind of way, maybe. Have fun in Korea. I had fun in Korea. Some people hate Korea. I love Korea. Korea was fun. What kind of things can get you to basic training as an E2 or E3? Well, college is one. JROTC, depending on the experience of that. Certain levels, like if you do like Eagle Scout in the Boy Scouts or whatever, There's things usually sometimes you can do with your recruiter, like you do the Future Soldier program. And if you complete the Future Soldier program, it used to be called the Delayed Entry program, but sometimes if you complete phases of that, that can help you come in as an E2 or E3. So check with the recruiter. Sometimes the recruiter has cool stuff. Referring a friend, you can refer a friend, that can get you E2. JROTC help in basic training? It can. I mean, it gives you a little bit of heads up, right? You probably already know the DNC and how to march and everything like that, but sometimes it can help you earn some rank depending on how much JROTC time you did. There you go. Jay the Vorn says he can confirm Airborne is hell on the knees. Pretty much everybody I know, I think they've done Airborne, they said it kind of has some kind of effect on their knees at some point in time. There you go. Early is on time is late. Late is just unacceptable. There you go. How do you become RTO? I mean, I guess it depends on what level you're talking. Like you RTO, like you're the person in the squad that's manning the radio, having good comms, communication experience, or not experience, but like, being able to talk on the radio well, having some skills with the radio, how to like load the radio, how to operate the radio can be helpful. Something you can volunteer for. But RTO working in a talk, that's just a crappy detail that sometimes you get stuck on. They're like, hey, we need some people to go sit in the talk and man the radio and man the JCR or the JVCP or whatever in the talk. And that's just a crappy detail you get stuck on. You have to go sit there for however many hours for your shift and sit there and do that. So that kind of just depends. How's the VA loan work for getting a house? You just go to the bank. You go to whatever bank you want to go through. Sometimes you go through a VA loan provider that kind of helps you find like the best bank to go for your situation. But usually you have to prove you have something you have to get from sometimes the VA, I think it was. It's been a while since I did mine. But you had to have like a letter and everything like that to prove that you're a veteran and that you're eligible for the VA loan. You just go to the bank, tell them you want to do a VA loan, and that makes it to where you don't have to put a down payment down. If you have some service, connected disabilities for like a percentage rating, then that can like waive a lot of fees for you. So that can be pretty helpful too. So that's pretty good. But yeah, usually you just go to whatever bank you're trying to go to or work with a VA loan officer and try to get the best bank. And then you have some documents you have to use to usually prove you're eligible. How bad is it to go a state and a half away on a 4-day weekend? LOL. Not saying I did it or not. Sure. To go a state and a half away, a lot of times it just depends on the mileage, right? So if it's, I always get it messed up, 250 miles, 350 miles. But the mileage radius, right? If you are going to go outside that mileage radius, then you have to put in for a pass on that 4-day weekend. If it's within that mileage radius, then you're pretty good. But a lot of people do it anyways without even putting in for a mileage pass and just take off where the hell they want to. And usually it doesn't become a problem unless they happen to do an alert or you get in trouble while you're outside of that area. But I've known a lot of people that would go and, just take off. And then Western Oklahoma weather, Russ. Probably, I imagine you're one, aren't you? You did it, didn't you? Stop in to say thanks for the channel. Keep up the good work. Well, thanks. Appreciate that. Whoa. Can company commanders do instant promotions for lower enlisted? Pretty sure they can't do it for NCOs or higher. Not really. I mean, they still have basic requirements. I mean, they have a process they still have to go through. So even if you need a waiver, they still have to do that. I mean, they're still going to have to do the requirements. The only time I've seen kind of a way to bypass that was there was this video where the Sergeant Major of the Army, the current one, went to an installation and they had like barracks room inspections and everything like that. And he got permission from the Secretary of Defense or the Secretary of the Army, one of the higher up individuals, to automatically promote somebody, waive them regardless of their time in service and everything like that. And there was some female that had a great room, great barracks inspection, and so he right there promoted her from PFC to specialist, even though she didn't meet the requirements for that. And then the Secretary of Defense or Secretary of Army, whichever it was, approved that to be able to do that. And that's the only time I've seen that. So, yeah. What's up, Joe? How's it going? If you were able to go back in the Army, would you, and why? No, I would not. Why? Because I make better money as a civilian than I did in the Army. Had a lot more freedom. Yeah, just a lot of things probably. I don't really know. I mean, for some people, Army is great. For some, it's not. For me, it was just meant to be a stepping stone to help me with civilian life. But yeah, you know, you get a taste of the Army and you get a taste of the civilian world, and for some people, they prefer that civilian life, and I'm definitely one of those people. But I definitely know people that would love to go back in the Army if they could, and they can't for whatever reasons, right? But yeah, for me, no, I would not. For VA loan, you need the COE, the Certificate of Eligibility. Yeah, I couldn't remember like the name of the document, but yeah, there's like a document you have to turn in the bank to show you're eligible for VA benefits and everything, including the VA loan, and prove you're in the military. And then if you're trying to also get a lot of those fees waived, you got to have like another thing from the VA to prove that you have a service-connected disability. Because I remember like when I did my home, there was some fees that got waived. So the only thing I had to pay when I did closing, because I was using a VA loan, was the earnest money and the closing costs. I think that was it. It was the only thing I had to pay. I didn't have to do any down payment. I didn't have to do any fees. None of that stuff. I'm really bad at math. Is that a problem for infantry? In some cases, it might be. It might be make it challenging for like land nav and a few other situations, but you know, I don't know how much of a problem that'll cause. May depend. What would be your top 3 rule for an ammo handler? Man, I don't know. Top 3 rules as an ammo handler. Don't smoke next to the ammo. That would be a pretty good rule. Accountability. This is very important. We got to keep accountability of that ammo. And strap it down really good. We don't want to lose any ammo in transport. So, maybe that. What was your favorite Emery? Probably the chili mac. I like the chili mac, was pretty good. The old spaghetti menu, it's not like that anymore, but the old spaghetti menu used to be pretty good too, because they had like Skittles in there, and it had the crackers with peanut butter in there and stuff like that, so those ones were pretty good. But the current spaghetti MRE, I don't think it has the same stuff in it. They kind of changed things up a little bit. Just found your channel a couple days ago. I'm 33, in decent shape, but can't run. You think I have a chance? I mean, I guess it depends on how bad you're saying you can't run. Like, if you can't run at all, like if you go and you want to go on a 4-mile run and you can't do that, then yeah, that's gonna be a hard problem. If you can't do 2 miles without stopping to walk or stopping to take a break, then yeah, that can cause pretty big problems a lot of times. So that's a tough thing. Yeah, you gotta be able to run. You do a lot of running in the Army. Like for PT in the mornings, running, I feel like you do the most. That's the thing you do the most, I feel like, in PT, is run. What do we got for time? We're at 100 likes. Can we get 50 more likes before the stream? We're getting close to the end of the stream, though. We're now at the 1 hour mark. Let me do a couple more questions, and then I'm going to go backwards in the chat and kind of answer some questions that maybe I missed and bypassed. But again, if I missed your question, hit me up on Instagram. Links down in the description box down below for you to follow me and shoot me a message. It's too easy. A couple more questions, though, and then we'll go backwards, so. Can you get a VA loan for a plot of land to build a new house on? Not really, no. Usually you gotta have it all combined into one. If you're buying the land, but also at the same time buying a house to put on it, or paying, you're gonna be spending the money for a contractor to build a house on that plot of land, then yes. If you're just trying to buy a piece of land alone by itself and there's no house on it, no. I don't believe that's an option you can actually do. So, but if you do it at the same time, yes. Just not separately. 11 Charlie needs math too. Yeah, that one needs math. I mean, you got what, like fire missions you got to do, and you got to make sure the angles are correct and whatever else math has to go in there to make sure that you're not going to, you know, lob that mortar around into the wrong location and jack some stuff up. So yeah, I'd imagine that has some importance with math. Have I tried Arabic food? No. They would do things like where they would offer you some food, like when we go to like the police stations in Iraq and certain other places, but I didn't want to trust that stuff. I didn't know if I was going to get food poisoning or something kind of crazy, so I always, you know, try to be polite and be like, no thanks, I appreciate it, thanks, no thanks. They'd have like chicken or some other kind of weird stuff that was like part of their culture or whatever in Iraq, and I would always be like, no. If you're dating someone in the same rank, can they visit you in your dorm room, roll in the barracks? Yeah, I mean, you can have visitors, like even if civilians, someone in the military, you know, you can have visitors in their rooms. They usually have visiting hours, is like most commonly, you know, on the weekends, you can have them up until like 2 o'clock in the morning, so they can't spend the night with you. And then during weekdays, so if like the next day is a day that you're supposed to be doing work or going to the motor pool, whatever, right, kind of thing, then usually the time limit is midnight, and you can't have the visitors in past midnight. So yeah, same rank, lower rank. It gets shady if you're let's say like an E4 and you're seeing someone who's an E5, then that's a little bit more sketchier kind of grounds, because you're not supposed to fraternize with lower enlisted when you're a non-commissioned officer. Definitely as an officer, you can't do that kind of stuff. But if you're both lower enlisted, E4 and below, no big deal. All right, let's go backwards in the chat. I'm gonna try to see if I can find some questions that maybe I missed. Again, if I missed your question, make sure to hit me up on Instagram. Shoot me a message. Let's see if we can find maybe like one or two good questions that maybe I bypassed. Trying to find something. Just give me a second here. Trying to find something good. Let's see. A lot of these questions, either they're short questions that maybe I've already answered in some way or form. Maybe this one. I didn't answer this one. How frequently are barracks inspections? That can depend on the unit. They usually do maybe once a week. Sometimes they'll have like a really quick barracks inspection type of thing. They usually call them morale checks, kind of a thing, where you're like your leadership may want to come through and check on how you're living, maybe like on Monday, maybe on Wednesday, whatever they kind of want to do. You're not supposed to do them too often, because then that kind of drops morale in the barracks. But otherwise, it can really depend. Sometimes it can happen when they find soldiers that are just jacking stuff up and their barracks look like crap, and so they say, hey, all right, make sure your stuff's all squared away, because we're going to come through and do a barracks inspection on Friday, on Monday, whatever, Saturday, whatever. So there's not really a good set time frame. Sometimes you might go a couple months without a barracks inspection. Sometimes you might have one once a month. It varies based on what's happening in the barracks to kind of determine that. Maybe one more quick question if I can find one. Mm. 82nd heading out in 3 days. What are your thoughts on that? I think they're going to Kuwait, though. Thought I saw that the 82nd is deploying a bunch of people to Kuwait for possible, like, potential reinforcement types of things. I'm not sure what their actual mission is. But I think they're going to Kuwait. Kuwait isn't that bad. I mean, it still sucks. It's not like, you know, being in the U.S., but Kuwait's not that bad. Especially if they, like, you're probably stuck on Burin or one of those other crappy ones. But if you get like Arifjan, pretty sweet. Arifjan's pretty cool in Kuwait. I got to be on Arifjan for a little bit, and that was awesome. All right, a couple more questions. We're at 109 likes. Doesn't look like we're gonna make our goal of 150. We might have to lower the goal to 100. Maybe get someone more realistic on the next stream. Maybe we'll lower it to 100 so we can feel a little bit more accomplished when we break the goal, kind of a thing. But I don't think we're gonna make it to that 150. All right, so we're gonna do a few more questions. If I don't get to your question, hit me up on Instagram. I'll get to your. I'll try to answer it within the week. How long was your deployments for? My first one was a 12-month deployment. It ended up being like, I think more like 11 or something like that. But it was a 12-month deployment. My second deployment was a 15-month deployment, which sucked because it seemed like forever. It was actually probably more like 13 or 14, but still, it was pretty long. I think it was like closer to 14. But still, nonetheless, it seemed like it lasted forever. Best part of being in the Army? Probably like a lot of the people you met was probably pretty good. Sometimes you get free stuff, and that's cool. Like as far as equipment, right? You get maybe some free boots, maybe some cool knives. I had a really cool knife. I wish I knew what happened to it. It was like a diver's knife, I think it was called, or something like that, and it was really cool. I have no idea what the hell happened to that knife. That was an awesome knife. But mostly the people. You usually get to meet some pretty cool people. Make some good friends for life, kind of a thing. Any way to re-enlist if a medical discharge? I mean, no. It depends on, like, if you're getting medically discharged, that usually means you can't stay in the Army. You have to get out of the Army. So that's usually not a possibility, sadly. So no. Even petroleum supply specialists use math. Well, they do. They have to do the gauging of the tanks and keep track of the how much fuel is in the tanks and all that stuff. Is that it? Is that gonna be end of the stream? I see the chat all of a sudden got really slow. All of a sudden. We'll answer maybe one, maybe two more questions, and then we'll be ending the stream here. We will, man. I mean, it jumped up a little bit, 117. We can always attempt. Like if you look down below and you haven't liked the stream yet, then you can hit that like button, and maybe we'll get to 150. I doubt it. But I think next live stream we'll have to decrease that down to 100 just to play it safer a little bit. I should have maybe a new video tomorrow. Maybe I'm gonna try to throw it together real quick. Maybe a new video tomorrow. If not, maybe I'll push it to Tuesday. Maybe it'll be a little bit weird scheduling kind of a thing. But I've been on this kind of path of trying to do Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for new videos. I'm still gonna try out the whole news style videos. First one did really good. This last one kind of tanked pretty much, but it could have just been the questions, or not the topic that was kind of being discussed. Maybe people weren't that interested in. So I'm still gonna give it probably a good 4 more probably episodes to really get a good gauge as far as if it'll be a every Friday thing or not. I'm leaning towards it probably would be a good thing, but we'll see. So we'll kind of play that by ear and kind of see how things go. What else is new? Not a whole lot else new with channel stuff. Some things I'm going to work on. I talked about earlier for members, having a cool membership card and all that kind of fun stuff. So I think we'll probably see. Maybe this will be our last question then. Maybe maybe 2 more questions. We'll do this one and one more probably. Anything to know about the sign-on bonus? It's cool. Usually you have to have a higher than 100 or 110 GT score. I think 100 to be able to qualify for those kind of things. So that's always the main thing to make sure you have is a good enough GT score to qualify for a bonus. Usually the bonuses are contingent upon you completing AIT, because it's usually for that MOS. So that's usually a key thing. This will be our last question right here from Jim Martinez. Was it difficult to adjust from military life to civilian life at first? Not really. I don't really think so. I think the only kind of scary thing was like you get so comfortable within the Army, you know, having that guaranteed paycheck basically, because, you know, active duty Army, you just getting that paycheck all the time, where civilian world, you know, you kind of have a little bit of that worry of, what if I get laid off? What if I get fired? What if they, in my line of work, contract work, what if they lose the contract, kind of a thing. So that part was a little sketchy, but for the most part, no, not really. I welcomed it pretty well, of transitioning from the military to the civilian side of the house. So it was a pretty good transition. I was fine with it. So not too bad on that kind of side of the house or anything like that. So, my friends, thank you guys so much for coming to hang out for Chaos Live. We'll do this again next Sunday. I don't think there's anything that's going to stop me from doing it next Sunday. Not that I can think of. So we should be doing another live stream next Sunday. Some videos planned out for the week, all that kind of stuff. Links in the description box. Like I said, if you have a question and I didn't answer here in the stream, just hit me up on Instagram. It's too easy. Give me a follow. We got to work on that damn Instagram game, right, and get followers up. So you follow me over there, and I will do you a solid, and I'll try the best I can to answer your question you got. If you want to join the Discord channel, that's free. Discord link down in the description box down below. Awesome community members. There's veterans that have verified veteran ID or veteran roles to tell you they're veterans, so they can give you advice too from their experience. Some of it's probably pretty recent experience or current experience because they're currently in the Army, kind of a thing. So great community over there. Head on over to the Discord channel. A lot of times people will be over there hanging out to kind of visit with you after the stream. So definitely a great peak time to kind of hang out with some awesome individuals. Hit that thumbs up. We didn't make our like goal. 122 is what I see. We didn't quite make it to 150. Next time we'll lower it to 100. Try to make it a little bit more achievable, hopefully. So all that kind of fun stuff. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. You guys are awesome. You guys rule. I will see you guys next time. See ya.
patrol.